All right, then. So how did calories come about? Calories came about from, like I said, 1780. So Antoine Lavoisier, a Frenchman, shout out, uh, was over there in France during a winter, 1782, 1783, that winter. Him and Pierre Simon de Laplace, which everyone misspells, which is hilarious. They invent the calorimeter, the first one ever. They call it the machine because the word calorie actually isn't going to be invented for another 6 years in 1789. But they use it to measure heat transfer. And so it comes from this thought experiment because they can understand they can measure temperature, but they're also smart enough to understand the limitations of temperature, of measuring temperature. So the limitations are you can't measure like the temperature of a reaction directly. Like you can measure the atmosphere in the room or how it all kind of settles down because the mercury doesn't just like jump up. It doesn't give you like really detailed graphs like we could have today. It's the temperature would rise and the mercury would be like, oh, okay, we're going up. And then it would stabilize and then maybe come back down or however it would react. And so they were trying to see like, okay, how do we, Lavoisier was trying to understand, and de Laplace, how do we understand heat transfer? Like, how do we measure the actual transfer of heat between things? And they thought about the special properties of ice. Because when ice melts, like when heat is exposed to ice is a good insulator. And so the front layer of ice will melt, and then water, which is a good insulator, a good absorber of heat, will become an insulator, and that water will maintain like just above freezing temperature as it melts across the ice until all the ice is melted, and then the water temperature will rise. So this uniformity in temperature transfer could be used as a medium or a reference point, and they use this idea of heat transfer as the caloric. And it was not necessarily a fluid, as a lot of people claim, even though he did kind of argue in that direction. But he also acknowledged that it could be from atoms. It could, like I swear to you, he actually acknowledged it could be from microscopic particles, imperceivable particles that are just vibrating and moving. He considered that theory back in 1790. It's insane. I know atoms were around for a while, but just seeing him write about it as just like as such a matter of fact, the same way we understand it today, it's crazy. And he measured, I'm out of time, but next time we're going to talk about the winter of 82 and 83 and how heat and respiration and combustion were tied together.